Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this channel, which I at this point have no idea where the direction is, but I thought I throw in a video that I have been kind of thinking about, which I noticed, at least in my feed, hasn't shown up. So I thought, why don't I make it? And my goal for this video is to not say a million goddamn times. My last two videos, or even more than that, I'm like and I just pause. It's just something that happens when I'm thinking a lot, and I'm hoping that throughout this video, more of my natural personality kicks in, because I'm usually a lot more funnier and more spontaneous than that. So perfect. So if you like random content and you like what I'm going to be bringing to the table, then keep on watching. So, have you ever thought to yourself, where do I take kids? And not by just kids, toddlers on vacation. If you're like me, you're trying to figure out what to do with your kid, especially when you want to go on vacation. And if you have the affordability to go on vacation and you're thinking, where do I even start about taking my child? Then this is the video for you. So one of the things I had done to really dive into like more vacation options for toddler, well, I should say toddler friendly vacations. So what that means is that these two listings that I have personally have gone and experienced are what I had done extensive research that provide toddler activities or toddler friendly places. So take it with a grain of salt. These locations may not be relatively close to you, but if you are in the New England area, then this will be your kind of contact where you'll find that you could possibly go to these places and be able to get there by car. I have not done a plane trip with my son, so to be determined. However, I am trying to avoid that more until he's a little bit older, where he can understand why we're not able to move around a lot when it comes to travel. Because in the car, as you know, it's so much easier to travel with your kid. You know, at least for me, in my family situation, pack up the goods, pack up the snacks, take those occasional rest stops. It's just, I find that it's something that me and my family can enjoy, where we like go into different places with him and stuff like that. So I'm going to have some clips of the vacation, but we're going to start off with Sesame Place. If you haven't heard of Sesame Place, it is located in Pennsylvania. I'm not exactly sure on the location, but I will pop it up somewhere around the screen where you can find the location of this area. For me, it was about a 6-hour drive. That is the longest drive that me and my son have traveled. Of course, the camera did not go off. So we had stayed at oh my god, it's been a little bit because this vacation was last year. So I'm talking about experience last year. We stayed at this hotel. I think it's a Marriott of some sorts. We had rewards, so I just chose a place that had rewards and was relatively close to Sesame Place. I wanted someplace where we didn't have to do a lot of traveling, just because we had traveled for 6 hours. I'm not going to stick my son into more traveling if I can avoid it. It was a 6-hour drive, and that was the goal. And during the 6-hour drive, we did pass New York. I will say, if I had it my way, I would have left super early. Unfortunately, as you know, with the toddler, that just did not happen in my world. So we left probably in the midday, probably like I would say 11 o'clock, and we didn't get there till like, oh my God, I think it was like 6 or 7. We got there late just because we had done frequent stops. We had to pick up a couple of things. It just prolonged the trip. So I think it added like about another hour or hour and a half. So relatively, we were in the car for 7 hours and a half. But either way, it was fine. Once we got there, we were able to settle in. The hotel room was absolutely spacious in a way where it was like we only did a king size bed because our son sleeps with us. I know a lot of people probably have a lot of things to say about that, but it just works for our family, and he's not a baby anymore, so it was comfortable for me. So, once we got there, we settled in, we had dinner, and then the next day started. So once we got up for our day, we had breakfast in this particular hotel. I highly recommend looking for a hotel that has breakfast included. It was such a nice way to alleviate the stress of providing at least that first meal of the day, because I just got out of the hotel, we were in our PJs, and he could have breakfast. And he's a pancake connoisseur, so they had a pancake machine there that you could just like press a button and two flapjacks came out, and it was so cool to watch. I was like, oh my god. And then once people saw me using it, they're like, I'm gonna try. I loved where when we went on this vacation, it was, I believe, the beginning of September. Yes, it was the beginning of September, and it was, right after school started, so there wasn't really a lot of people at this hotel. And when we got to the park itself, which I will talk about in a little bit, it was busy, but not like the hustle and bustle that I had believed it would be. So during that time, after we did, I think it was like a 15-minute drive to the park, which was easy. We parked. I believe we paid for parking too. Again, I don't quite remember. This was last year's vacation, so I should have probably done it, but I didn't think about doing any videos back then. So this is kind of new concept. But yeah, it was just awesome. As soon as we walked in, it was just so sweet. They had so much things going on there. My son enjoyed, they had a parade, they had characters walk around the park. I will say the character to meet the characters was such a huge line, which of course it happens. I think regardless of whatever time you go, it's always going to be a line to meet the characters. So we didn't do that except for Elmo. We did go in line for Elmo's pictures, which, because my son kind of was more familiar with Elmo. He doesn't really get the characters yet. Even now, he still doesn't really associate, but he knows who Elmo was. So we did go on a line of that. It was so sweet. I believe I have either a video or a picture of this moment. So I'll again attach that to this video. But oh my god, it was just great. And it wasn't expensive. I believe in total, if I had to roughly, a family of three with two adults, one toddler, hotel, and out of pocket expense along with the tickets, I want to say in total we probably spent like 800, which is generous. I mean, you could probably be a little even more frugal with that, but 800 was about what we had spent in total for at least the tickets, gas, parking, hotel. Anything beyond that is what we call like spending money. So of course, if you're trying to budget as best as you can, you don't have to buy anything from the park. We chose to do that, and we did buy one meal from the park, which was our lunchtime meal. Oh wait, no, and the dinner experience. We did do a dinner experience too. So the dinner experience, I highly recommend it. If it's available for you when you go, just pay that ticket. I think it's like 35 per person. Maybe a little bit more, a little less. I can't quite remember. Again, I will have all the pricing. It was the Friends experience where the characters were right there. You didn't have to fight anybody to meet the characters. They meet. It's like a meet and greet with a dinner. So, and the options, I will say they're a little bit I mean, I was hoping they had more toddler friendly stuff. They did have more kids friendly meals, which is great if you have, I would say, above a 5-year-old or even probably three or four. My son at the time was, I think, only one and some change. So he wasn't really super, he's still a toddler, still is, but he was super toddler, if that makes sense. I don't know if that even makes sense, whatever. But, it was just an experience. He got to meet Elmo, Abby, the Count. I think that was all that the three characters that were there, but it was just so great. The food was decent. Again, it's not like a 5 course meal along. So the Halloween experience at Sesame's Place is 10 out of 10. The whole park was transformed into a Halloween theme. I know it's the beginning of September, and Halloween's not until October, but it just transitioned very well. And I believe it was probably the first week that they did their Halloween parade, which again, 10 out of 10, the best experience ever. I loved it. You do want to be there, I would say, an hour before the parade starts. I know that sounds crazy to wait there, but I will say we were at the over the edge of the street that they had. It was like a makeshift street to symbolize Sesame Street. So it was a street, and you're not allowed to obviously go in the middle of the street, but you were able to kind of sit on the edge of like the pavement, which we me and my son were able to see the whole parade. He didn't. He could experience it. The only thing I wish is that I took him out of the carriage so that way he could sit on me. But I was just super nervous that he was going to walk out and disturb the parade or get hurt. He did not do that when I took him out halfway through, but I kind of wish I just took him out a little bit. But overall, it was awesome. It must have been their first premiere of their Halloween parade. The choreography, the dancers. Oh, it was just cannot express. I know I'm like trying to convey this in a video. It was very hard, but it was just so great to see your child, looking at a fun experience. They had so many activities there and stuff like that. So I just cannot express how much I love Sesame Place, and how if you are looking for vacation, and if you're in the New England area, it's about a 6 to 7 hour drive if you have that, and you're willing to kind of drive that. I cannot express that. And if you're closer, great. I'm sure people who are local to Pennsylvania have a more understanding of like when to go and stuff like that. But two, which was awesome, which I will dive into that now, is so they do have rides there, and my son could ride them. I was so surprised. Obviously, you can ride them by themselves, but these rides were geared towards small children. They did have rides for bigger children, but overall, it was a great place for your child to experience their first rides and with the company of an adult, which you don't get that a lot. Especially he will eventually be able to go on a rides, but I believe it's 42 inches. I'm not exactly sure. Is it 42 inches? I don't remember. But my son was able to ride, and it was really funny to watch him because he's like stone cone face, which I. All right. So now let's talk about another place that I just recently went. So I can talk a little bit more in length about, not in length, but more relevant information because I just went on this last week. So we went to Smugglers Notch, and I think I'm saying right, Smuggler, whatever. And this is located in Vermont. So again, if you are local to New England, it is about, for me, a 3-hour drive, which was great. Less of a driving experience than going up to Sesame Place, but beautiful drive. The scenery there, the fact that it's more open, and if you're about being out in nature and stuff like that, Vermont is a place for you. So if you're curious about Vermont, it's just really like all like backwoods. And, they're really known for just the nature of Vermont, is like the mountain regions and stuff like that. Just kind of like how New England is more of like, depending on where you are, it's just they have their particular quirks about them. In Vermont, my experience was just more of like a farmer kind of place to live. So if you're like a big into like agriculture, this is a place for you. So after our 3-hour drive, which we had no weather or anything like that, which was great, we kind of zoomed there. It was very quick, to be honest with you. The drive there was longer, I felt like, than the drive back. So once we got to Smuggler Notch, they explained that they had their activities. Now, I knew that they had activities there. So I particularly chose this place, again, because I had actually researched this place. I think if there's a link, I will link below in the info section. So in the info section, I'll have the link that I found this place where it gives you kind of like the top 10 places to take toddlers. And I found they were really well known for having, a lot of winter activities. They always have activities, but the winter activities was really cool. They had like a winter carnival on Thursdays along with a fireworks show, which I will get to you in a little bit because the fireworks show was absolutely, we did not experience it. So it was just so great. The people in the front desk were so friendly. They just really were so nice to my son, which was nice. You always want to, I know that's like a little things like that really make an experience worthwhile. So we go in, we settle into our hotel room, and it was it was so cute. It was a studio apartment. So kitchenette, a bed, a king size bed, a couch, TV, and a bathroom. So all the little amenities that you need in order to have like a really nice roundabout a place where you can put your clothing, and you can actually cook in this place, which I love because I made breakfast and lunch and dinner there, because that's kind of why I chose it, because I really wanted to be more on hands on with making food. So that's why I chose this particular location. So that was great. So after we settled in, we had dinner. I think we arrived around like 4 ish. We kind of didn't rush out of the door because it was relatively closer to us versus when we went to Pennsylvania. So we took our time. We did pack the day of. I know some people are like, "Why would you do that?" I actually was very sick last week, so before traveling to get me, my son, and my husband some good sleep, because all three of us were feeling the sickness. My son was just getting over the tail end of it, while me and my husband were just getting into it. So it was great. It was good timing for that kind of stuff. But when I tell you the experience was worth it, I kind of pushed my sickness to the side. They had the winter carnival on Thursday, and once we looked around, we kind of walked around. Obviously, this is winter and it is in Vermont in the mountains, so you need to bundle up. When we got there, it wasn't so hot, but went towards the end of the day, as the sun is setting, it was getting much colder. So we make sure you pack, if you're going to go in winter, winter clothing. That's a must there, because especially if you're going to go skiing and snowboarding, which we did not do, unfortunately. We do have boards. He has a board and I have ski sets, but we just could not fit that in our car. And having a husband who says, "I'm going to put a roof rack on. I'm going to put a roof rack on." Do you think he did that? No. We've had our car for almost 2 years. I don't know when I'm going to get a roof rack. Probably when we sell it. So once, if you're not going to ski and snowboard, there's other activities there. There's a pool. There's 2 hot tubs, one for only adults, one for families. Of course, my dogs are barking as soon as I start recording my life. But so we talked about, they had a hot tub, which is with adults and family one. So if you wanted to bring your family, there's one designated for them, and there's one for adults, which I love that, because I was like, that is so nice to think about, like, just not only the family aspect, but individually wise, if you want to kind of have time for yourself, there's a designated area for you. They're adjacent, so they're right there. But it was just nice to be there. And when I went to the hot tub, I went during their downtime, because I kind of wanted to take advantage, because I saw the night before how busy it was. And of course, it's going to be busy. People got off the slopes and they want to relax. I did try to get a massage there, so they do have a spa there, but it wasn't open. I'm not exactly sure why. And when I did call the front desk to see if maybe the website was not displaying the information correctly, she did confirm that they were down, because they did have a sauna there, and I really wanted to try that. I've been dying to try a sauna. I heard it's really good for your health. But either way, that didn't happen. And they did recommend a massage parlor that wasn't too far away, but I didn't really want to travel. That's the whole purpose of why I chose this place, because it was like right there. It was just overall being there after, the Thursday, and then the night was really funny. So as any parent knows, especially if you're renting a one room, it's, if your toddler sleeps, you're walking like as if you don't exist. You just try not to wake up your kid. So we did go outside. It was so cold, but we did take the blankets that they had in the room and just sat on the art box. What are they called? They're loud. They're chase, or no, they're not chases. I don't know what the heck they're called. They're the things that you sit down in. They're lawn chairs. Wow, could not remember that. So we sat outside in anticipation, because we started hearing the fireworks, and I'm like, oh, let's go outside and watch them. Girl, they were not out there. We just happened to be in the one building that did not face the welcome center where they did the fireworks. So we heard them. We heard people yelling. We heard the MC talking. But I was like, what? I was like, we didn't even get to see it. I knew my son wasn't going to experience the fireworks. I'm very strict about his schedule of sleep. He sleeps when he sleeps. I don't push it, especially since he's sick. I just didn't want to wake him up. So needless to say, if they were a great fireworks show, it sounds like they were. People were chanting, but we didn't get to see it. But I guess if you've seen fireworks before, they're pretty much the same, I would assume. So the next day, I will say, was super fun. They do have like I would call it Pirates Day, or Pirates like themed stuff. So the morning we did Pirates breakfast. There was Not a lot. There was like, what I mean, a lot of people. There was nobody there. It was just us. Um, Hence, I was so surprised because I'm like, I did see other toddlers here. So I always assume, especially in my area where I do like the library meetups with other moms, we are up at the ass crack of dawn. So to see no other toddler parents in this breakfast area, I was so surprised. But my son loved it. The pirate, I think his name was Steve or something like that. Steve the pirate, or friendly pirate, as what he was going by. He kind of like jolted up to my son and he was petrified. But as soon as he started singing songs, he really did enjoy it. He gave the guy some high fives. Very skeptical of him, but he really enjoyed. But I will say, I think it was the White Mountains Grill or something of that. Again, I will post the links because I don't quite remember the location that we ate this at. The breakfast was okay. They murdered that bacon. I'm talking like, like, there's bacon, like soft, chewy bacon, which some people like myself, I like that. Some people like crunchier bacons. By all means, you do you. But if you want to go to this place and get your bacon almost charcoal, you go to this place. And the serving side was huge for my son. I got a kid's plate. They gave him like a meal that could feed two adults. I thought that was nuts. And I will say the food was okay. I mean, you really can't mess up breakfast. It was okay, but am I gonna run there again? Probably not. I think the breakfast that I usually make for my son is a lot better. I will say. I think what I could provide for him is much more of what his palate is versus what they were serving at this place. Because he got a French toast, eggs, and hash browns. Or no, is it hash browns? What do they call? Uh, Hush puppies. And they're hush puppies. But I was like, whoa, like I just. So after breakfast, we had to kill some time because at 10 o'clock the fun zone opens, and we were super excited because I've seen the pictures, but I will say there is no justification of the fun zone. It is exactly how it is sound. It is literally geared towards kids and adults, if you think of it that way. Where the first level is no, the second first level is their activity. Like they're more like, have you ever done like I think it's a ninja, what is that? The ninja challenge or whatever the heck it is, like you see on TV where they like jump through hoops and stuff like that for adults. That's what they had on the bottom. My husband did do it, and I'm sorry, husband, but you were so bad at it. He tried to say that he still got it. Not from my area. I didn't end up doing it because my son just really did not particularly care for the arcade, which was adjacent to this like ninja course. So we were relatively quick there. We did do the arcade, but it wasn't something that we were thoroughly interested in. We did win a couple of crane games, and we did check in our tickets to get like small prizes, but that's really, we only spent $20 there. That was nice. So but the upstairs is where you want to be. So upstairs they have tons of inflatables, along with a area just designated for toddlers. Bigger kids can go there, but there is a sign that says that this area. Hi, baby. Is geared towards 7 and below, which was so nice because really, where do you get a place that is geared towards the safety of a toddler? So my son, this was his first experience going on inflatables, and he was so funny on them. He's like, "Ooh, this is bouncy. Like, why is this so bouncy in here?" And it was just so great to see them. They had a little country store there, like a pretend country store where you could do like the pretend play with food, and like they had like pretend mail. And then on the right side ish, they had I'm trying to explain it in the best way. They had like a little area where they can do like basketball and stuff like that on the side, like inflatable basketballs. That was geared towards a little bit older, but my son just loved throwing balls, and that was perfect. And then they had a little area where you could read to your children, along with TV there if you wanted to like let them watch TV, which I didn't see a lot of kids there doing that because there was just so much to do. They had like what I called like huge Legos. It did say online they had Legos, but they weren't really like those like Legos that you're thinking of, like the traditional like those pieces. No, they it was more of like noodles and like connects and stuff like that where you would put a noodle pool in and then it would make like a wall and stuff like that. Still super fun, but they're not really Legos. And if they did have Legos, I didn't see them. They had a Lego station with little pieces of Legos, but overall, like, it wasn't what I had anticipated. I thought giant Legos, and maybe I just read the form wrong, whatever. But either way, it had so many little areas, and I cannot tell you, we spent the majority of our days at the fun zone. It was just super nice to kind of chillax, watch your child have fun, along with one parent. We took turns. Like, I would play with him, my husband would play with him, we would do independent play with him. So he would kind of go off as obviously with safety and us watching him play. It was just so nice. And then my husband lied. He lied. He said you couldn't have alcohol there, and I'm like, oh, bummer. Not that I want to, rock out at 10 o'clock in the morning, but low key, I kind of did. It's vacation, right? What's the number one thing that moms do on vacation? They drink, they day drink. So, towards the end of it, like when we went to the arcade and the ninja course, my husband did come back with like a Cabernet, and he was like, "Oh, I guess they do sell drinks." And I'm like, I could have been drinking this whole time. I thought we had it all, man. I thought we had it. But yeah, no, it was after like the fun zone, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend this area, especially if you're looking for like something where your kids get entertained and they just have fun. So after the fun zone, we did go to a local lunch area called the Fox Den or something like that. Again, the food was really good. The only thing, again, they killed the bacon. What is wrong with you, Vermont? Don't kill the bacon. Why are you overcooking it to the point where they're like disintegrated? Just lightly grill it, or if you have to, ask the preference of the patron, whatever. I'm not going to judge you, but don't kill the bacon. My son loved the mac and cheese. They are known for Carbot or Cabani or whatever the heck the cheese brand is. I guess that they're the location, like the factory is there, so they're very prideful of their cheese production. It was so good. Me and my husband indulged a little bit because they gave him a good portion size. Our food was really good. So I will put the location for that. If you're looking for a lunch spot, please eat there because it was so good. Again, they killed the bacon, but if you don't mind that, I got the BLT, and then my so after that, we kind of chilled out. We had a relaxing kind of vacation after all the fun zone. We went back to the fun zone for a little bit towards the end of the day, get some energy out. But then we had dinner at the hotel. I think I made like beef stew or something like that. So it was just super fun. We had a great time. We left um, Saturday, so we went there Thursday, left Saturday morning, and we did do the Ben and Jerry's tour, which is super fun. Highly recommend if you want looking for something to do with it. Again, with a toddler, the Ben and Jerry tour. It was super quick. They gave ice cream. Again, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, but I'm pretty sure no one's complaining to have ice cream, and my son was not complaining. And the Ben and Jerry's tour, they were so friendly. The guy who did the tour was super knowledgeable, and we got to see the production of ice cream. I think he said they were making like cookie dough, and it was just super fun to see like how from start to finish how ice cream is made, at least in the Ben and Jerry style. So you are not allowed to had a little playground along with their flavor graveyard, which was super fun to see, like past flavors that are no longer in productions, and they would put like the date that the productions and the last time they were served. So it was just super awesome. And then we kind of went home from there. Again, I think the drive back was well, guys, those are my two locations. I'm hoping to kind of extend this series as I do more vacation spots. I am hunting for a summer vacation, so that's my goal for this up and coming weeks and stuff like that, is trying to see what the next vacation site I want to go to, in regards to driving. So that way, if you're looking for like a drivable vocation, no, a driving vacation, then I will continue kind of making these little fun videos. I find like this is super fun too. I love making videos like this, kind of like chillax. If you're curious where I am, where am I? In my kitchen. I'm waiting for my bread timer to go off. I made homemade bread. Yes, I'm weird. I make bread. I don't know. Does anybody else like start homemaking once they become like a part-time worker? Because I went from full-time to part-time, so this is like super great. But yeah, if you like this video, thumbs it up, subscribe. It really helps. I'm hoping, I guess I'm not really hoping to make it big, but just be someone that, if you're like, especially in New England area and stuff like that, if you're like looking for someone local to kind of feel connected to, this is kind of your channel for you. But hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.